All right, thanks very much, Jimmy. Good morning, everyone. One little note I'd like to make. When Jimmy introduced me in our tech rehearsal on Wednesday, he introduced me as the CEO of nChain, and he said, I think he was joking, he said, this is the best job in the world. And I completely agree with him. I'm in a very privileged position right now to be leading this company. It's been less than a year since I've joined, and every day I'm really amazed by the quality of the people in this organization and the intensity that they bring. So in today's talk, I'm going to talk very briefly about three things. I want to talk about the people of nChain, because right now nChain is talked about in the Bitcoin community a fair bit, but the number of individuals that could be named outside our organization is probably less than 10, might even be less than 5. So today I want to introduce a lot of the people that actually make everything happen here at nChain. Secondly, we're going to talk a little bit about our business model and the strategy we're taking to be able to enable enterprise development on Bitcoin. And thirdly, I want to talk about a really important project that we're working on right now that literally has the potential to change the world. So for a while, we've talked about the intellectual property that comes out of nChain. That's one thing we're known for. We've talked about a lot of the things that might happen down the road once certain pieces of infrastructure are developed. Those are promises, and it's talking a lot about the potential of what we might ultimately do. But today I want to move past that a little bit, and we're going to talk about what we're doing in practice. We're at the point now where the things that nChain are doing and have been doing are now coming into reality. It's a very important turning point for us. So the people of nChain are a really unique group, and it's taken me a little while to get a full flavor for this, but the composition of people we have is really, really special, and this is what makes us tick. We've got a really unique skill set, people that come from traditional software development backgrounds. We've got people coming from academic research, a real breadth of experience, and a breadth of perspective. And I think this is one of the most unique and important things about nChain, because we don't operate in an echo chamber. We bring a lot of outside views to what we're doing, and we use this really well in terms of trying to take our vision beyond our walls. The one thing that is common about everyone in our business is that we all see the power of Bitcoin to reshape the world. That sounds like a really big statement, and we make a lot of big statements at these conferences and in these rooms, but everyone at nChain truly believes that. Our mission as a business is to really provide the framework for enterprise development and enterprise-level use of Bitcoin. And importantly, I don't think the real enterprise customers that we're talking to even want to know that they're using Bitcoin. And that's the most important technological achievement that we're hoping to make, bridging that gap. So the one thing that we're approaching now, the mindset we're taking, is that this business is about data. The ability to unlock data that individuals, businesses, and others already touch, already generate, already consume. That's going to be the core fundamental thing that we talk about in everything we do. I personally believe that data is going to be the most important commodity in the next decade, and providing ways for individuals and businesses to use data and monetize data is going to become the key driver for corporate profitability. We've got a huge advantage in this space. So how do we measure that? When we talk about business, we've got a lot of financial metrics that we can work with. That's pretty straightforward. A lot of people read about those in the press. I'm excited about the possibility to measure success in Bitcoin in other more real-world ways, such as changing lives. That sounds like a big statement, and it is, but we're going to get there. As I've said, this is about thinking big. So we're looking to build enterprise-grade solutions for clients that are thinking as big as us. We've got a lot of big thinkers in the business. You've heard a lot of them on this stage. The only way that we can execute this, thinking this big, is on Bitcoin SV. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the people at nChain. So on the screen here is the leadership team. This is an incredible group of people here who have incredible teams working with them, and I just want to make sure that these people start to get some profile and that everyone outside of our business understands the depth of talent that we have here. The one thing you notice is that there's a lot of letters on those names there, many more within the walls. So most of our team is based in London. So since we've got a unique opportunity to be presenting here today, can I just get a show of hands from all the nChain staffers that are here today? And don't worry, I'm not going to call you on the stage like Shatters did. nChain people, nChain people, nChain. So first of all, I'd really like to thank everyone for all the hard work and intensity that they bring every single day. We've had some pretty big events recently that's required an awful lot of work, an awful lot of intensity. So thank you very much. You guys inspire me every day that I see you. It's really, truly phenomenal. And for everyone else in the room, please try and remember these faces and get to know them because it's a really accessible group. Thank you. So to give you a sense of scale, we're now up to 94 people at nChain. When I started less than a year ago, we were at 51. So this is important when we talk to enterprise customers to understand that we're not a startup in a basement somewhere. We have, I believe, the most advanced team in the world. This gives you a sense of what we're up to here. These are the way our staff line up. In terms of moving forward and actually developing things, the key process here is the interaction between these three groups: research, engineering, and business services. nChain started as a pure research company. We're evolving now into much more product-focused, but it requires these groups to work together seamlessly. So I'm going to talk very briefly about that right now. So in research, everyone knows the gentleman on the left, Dr. Craig Wright. He is truly an inspiration to everybody in this group. Together with Owen Vaughn, who's our director of research, these guys turn ideas into reality, turn concepts into really important pieces of intellectual property. We are, I believe, the world leader in this space right now. We've just eclipsed, I believe it's 1,050 global patent applications covering over 250 individual inventions. That's an incredible achievement. On the business services side, Simit Nayak leads this group. This is the interface between real-world business and the great ideas that we come up with in the background. So Simit's job is to go out and speak with enterprise clients and actually listen and understand what their needs are, how we can help enhance their business by accelerating use of data, security of data, velocity of money. So Simit's background comes from Visa. He's one of the experts in the blockchain space when it comes to payments in the real world. I think half the people that stand on a stage at a blockchain conference talk about the number of Visa transactions that happen, but they have no idea how they happen. So we've got a team that actually understands that and understands how Bitcoin can disrupt this. And thirdly, the engineering team. This is probably the best-known group of nChain employees, I think, at this sort of conference. Steve Shatters in the last year has become very comfortable up on this stage. Looked like it was pretty tough to get him off there yesterday. So Steve, together with Carl, head up our engineering team. Carl Jacket, you don't see up on this stage so much, but he makes everything go very smoothly in the background here. Outstanding team for these guys. So the message here is that the real strength of nChain is our collective talent. It's great to talk about having over 1,000 patent applications, but it doesn't really mean anything if we can't execute on it and turn it into something that matters to people. So in terms of some examples of what we've actually done, remember I want to talk about practice, the Genesis upgrade. We're all familiar with how that went on February 4th. Bitcoin is now unbounded, ready to go for enterprise level development. This engineering team executed flawlessly there. Very impressive. They worked endlessly to get that done on time and with zero hiccups. Very impressive. This paves the way for this enterprise level adoption that we're all talking about at this conference today. Now, one important thing that we haven't talked about yet, so now that the Genesis upgrade is behind us, the next scaling effort that the engineering team is focusing on will be Terranode, as you heard Daniel Connolly talk about yesterday. The part of the business that you probably haven't heard much about yet is what we call platform services. These are pieces of software that allow real businesses to talk to the blockchain without having Bitcoin experts in their business. So it sounds like a pretty simple statement, but we want to make it, again, so that we can have these interoperable pieces of software that allow mature business to work on Bitcoin. So now I want to talk very quickly about an important project we're working on. And again, I alluded to this at the beginning, that I think we've got the potential to actually make a real difference in some real outcomes that actually matter. The opioid crisis in the US makes headlines every single day, and it's not for a good reason. It's because in the US, nearly 200 people die every single day from opioid overdoses. That's over 70,000 people a year. So there are a number of problems that underpin that. From our perspective right now, the most important one that we can work on is about data and about information. The key issue is that there is no interoperable, transferable, universal source of truth when it comes to how opioids are prescribed and administered. Very happy to announce that as of yesterday, we're working on changing that. We yesterday executed a term sheet to develop a proof of concept product with a company called EHR Data. They're going to be speaking right after me, so you can hear from the experts. The goal here is to develop this universal single source of truth that can allow healthcare practitioners to use information and make decisions that can save lives by preventing opioid abuse. One important point I want to make here, working with EHR Data, this isn't a startup, this isn't an idea. The people behind EHR have 40 years of experience in the US pharmaceutical business. 40 years of the back-end software underpinning the largest pharmacy chains in the world. This project has a very high chance of success. The relationships that the people at EHR have with the key stakeholders in the US means that if anyone has a chance of getting this done, it's going to be them. And I'm very excited to be working with them on that. Lots more details to come in the future. So since I'm running way over time here, I'm going to stop now. But thank you very much for your attention. Please get to know my colleagues at nChain, and look forward to meeting everyone a little bit later on. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Johanna Botta with Coingeek.com, and I'm here with David Washburn. He's the CEO of nChain. So, day 2 of the CoinGeek Conference. Talk to us about nChain.
Yeah, nChain is one of the most interesting companies in the blockchain space for sure. I consider us to be the world leader on the R&D side in terms of the number of patents and inventions we've come up with. And the part that's going to get really interesting this year is that we transition to facing enterprise businesses on a global scale.
How do you attract all the wonderful talent that you have on board?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's a combination of a number of things. Number one is the opportunity that people see. They see nChain as a true world leader, so that's a great starting point. And then secondly, the talent we already have on board. People attract people, great people attract great people, so that's a real testament to the people on our team.
Okay, I've got 2 more for you. Achievement-wise, tell us about what you've already achieved and what you hope to achieve in the future.
Right. Well, one of the most important achievements I just announced on stage a few minutes ago, we've announced that we're working together with a US-based healthcare software company to launch a blockchain-based solution that we think can help solve the opioid crisis in the United States. So that's a real-world, large-scale problem, and we think it's an example of how Bitcoin can save lives. We want to make sure that individuals, companies, large organizations can all access their data, control their data, monetize their data. We think the best opportunity to do that is with Bitcoin.
That's very interesting. I was doing some research about the healthcare industry and about how important keeping your data secure is, right, especially all your medical records. So really happy to hear that you guys have, made a commitment with the healthcare industry right now. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Tell us, what do you feel is the mission of nChain right now?
The mission of nChain, I would say, is to ignite the global adoption and use of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone. I say that. It's a big statement because it's true. I think that you touched on it, on accessibility. You want everybody to be able to use it and not think of it as this foreign language that you don't know.
One step further there and make the analogy to the internet. When in the 90s, people talked about going online to do something. No one says that anymore. We want Bitcoin to get the same way. So it's really the underpinning behind data-driven businesses and applications.
And how are you planning on doing that, though?
Big secret.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.